My name's Bob Hardy. I'm a graduate of the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I got my undergraduate degree in political science in 1978 and my master's in journalism in 1982. I'm a Madison native, so I grew up around the university, and right now I run my own marketing communications consulting firm in Atlanta, Georgia. The most important thing I think my liberal arts education did for me is going to sound extraordinarily simple, but it taught me how to think. And it taught me how to think in a very critical and inquisitive fashion. Two things that I think are immensely helpful in the communications industry. I worked in politics for 10 years in both Washington, D.C. and here in Madison. It was a wonderful educational experience. It, too, taught me a lot of valuable things about assessment, about thinking, about having the ability to work with people with whom you may not agree. I do a lot of work in public relations and in marketing communications, and in marketing these days, it's much less art and creativity like it used to be, and far more fact-based. You hear big data all the time. Big data is heaven sent as far as marketing is concerned. In some ways, in a terrifying fashion in terms of the amount of information you can learn about people and habits and things along those lines. So I do a lot of research. I spend a great deal of time interfacing with my clients. This morning I have a client in Saudi Arabia. I had an 8 o'clock call in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, with my clients to talk a little bit about what their expectations were for a consulting engagement that I have with them there. One of the things that I do is I don't have any quote-unquote employees. I have a network of people that I use as needed. So I have graphic designers, I have filmmakers, I have writers, I have science writers, I have web designers and things along those lines. So I interface with my network of people as I need them on an ongoing basis. And I actually get to do creative work occasionally. I've managed large organizations for a long time, and I find the ability to not have to manage employees more and actually do the work, to do the creative, to do the writing, to edit the video, all those kinds of things. It's immensely rewarding. People comb social media religiously. One of my clients is an executive recruiting firm. They do a great deal of social media research when they're considering candidates for positions. And let's face it, when you're screening for jobs, you're screening out. You're not looking for ways to include people, you're looking for ways to exclude people. And so I think it's important that you inventory your own persona in social media. One tweet can change the dynamic of an organization very quickly. A YouTube video can have a profound impact in real time. And so you have to know what's going on in the social media spheres. What employers are looking for in different spheres is as varied as there are employers, unfortunately. I think it's funny, a lot of people talk about things like, I need critical thinking, I need technological excellence, I need a variety of different skill sets, and I think as many people as you talk to, you'll get as many answers as you ask. But I go back to a handful of things that I think are really important for students to equip themselves with, regardless of what industry or nonprofit association, et cetera, that they're engaged in. I think it goes back to having a passion. I think you got to do what interests you. There's no sense going into something that doesn't excite you, that doesn't really get you going on a daily basis, because it'll, no matter how much money you make, at some point you're going to burn out of it. And so it's important to have that inventory of passion. Back on my own experience, I am a liberal arts graduate, I'm a political science journalism major. I was working in the Wisconsin legislature when computers were just coming into vogue. And I decided I really needed to have computer education in order to understand these things. And so I took a class at MATC in computer programming, and I learned how to program punch cards. And I spent a lot of time that semester learning how to program punch cards. And that was useful to me for about 15 minutes. Punch cards no longer exist. But my knowledge and my ability to learn and my ability to integrate a lot of different information and to put it in the context of the people for whom I serve is immensely valuable.